Of three stations. We are in the Sisters of Zion Convent.
This is
One Sisters of Zion Convent, the first of three that were founded by the same order, and the order was founded by the brothers Ratisbon. We have one more compound in Ein Karen, which is still active, and one more place in the neighborhood of Rehavia, in the downtown area. Now, sorry? Exactly, in the demonstrations. So one of three. And he started, the order started in the 1860s in Ein Karen, 1870s here, and 1880s in Rehavia compound. We came from the main street. We started from the Damascus Gate and went south, down south, then turned left, turned east. If we go the whole way, in 5 minutes we hit the Lion's Gate. Okay, and you will have a tour of the Via Dolorosa, so I'm not speaking about this route now. This site is a little hard to understand because we have different levels. And what we'll try to do is try to understand what was here first in the times of King Herod, and then what are the changes that Hadrian and later the Byzantines have made to the place. Because the scholars were quite baffled by it. I just want to remind you, this is the Madaba mosaic found in Jordan. Okay? It's still there. Found in the 1880s. It was the floor of a Greek Orthodox church, and when it was renovated, they found a mosaic which is dated to roughly the year 600 AD. We know it must be after the Emperor Justinian, with a J, because we have the Church of the Nea Maria. We'll speak of it later on, after the lunch break. Okay? And this was built by Justinian in around 565. And because we have names in Greek, and we have all the churches, it's a Christian map. So this is before the Muslim conquest. Okay, this is what I'm saying, roughly 600 AD. Give or take 20 years. Now you see the cardo. How many cardines?
We have two.
Two. And it's the same, okay? And by the way, I'm holding it like this, but we came.
Yeah.
Okay, so the map we're used to maps pointing to the north. This map points to the
East.
east. How do you say east in Latin?
Orient.
The map is orientated. Okay, everybody who comes to college or university has to go through orientation to get your bearings. This is where it comes from. Okay, now.
Awad is the lower.
Very good. Okay, so we have, again, I'll do it like this. We have the upper or western cardo. We'll meet it later on the day. This is the cardo that goes through the Jewish quarter of the day. And we have the lower cardo, which is at what?
It's the same one, or
the Central Valley.
is it the same exact one?
This is what we took now. The same route, but the original is could be a few meters outwards. Okay, but the exact same road. It wasn't built over. Okay, now you see that the cardines have pillars on both sides. By the way, each of them is over 20 meters, 22 meters in width. Both of them. Okay, now formerly, older papers, you will see the major cardo and the minor. Okay, no. Some thought, they used to think that the western one was more important. No. They had the exact same importance. Because the eastern one, if we would have continued further, it goes right by the Temple Mount. Speaking of Madaba Mount, because I don't know if we could do it by its reconstruction later on today, sometimes it's fooling people, this area has nothing built in it. What is the southeastern area of the old city? Temple Mount. Why is there nothing here? On the Byzantine map?
Because it's the 10 legion.
There was nothing, okay? Since the destruction of the year 70,
Exactly.
maybe they tried to rebuild the temple in the 4th century, but it didn't work out.
Julian, right.
Under Julian the Apostate.
So it was just a plateau, just
So
flat.
there's nothing. Until
691.
Okay, or maybe even a bit before, because we know after the Muslim conquest it was some kind of a mosque. We just don't know the exact shape. Okay, so until the Muslims come, it lies in ruins. For the Byzantines as Christians, it's a proof that the prophecies of Jesus, that the city would be destroyed, and the Jews are permitted to exist, but they have to be on a lower rank. There you go. Here is the living proof that you can see with your own eyes as a Byzantine pilgrim in the 4th, 5th, 6th centuries. Okay, so the two cardinals, the gate in the east, this is today's Lion's Gate. This is the former Damascus Gate. You see the pillars. This was the first time they understood why the natives call it Bab el-Amud. Okay, and you see the inner square. We passed through it. There were excavations, but no one found the base of the pillar, so nobody knows exactly where it was. In the lower part, southern part, the Nia Church, today the owner of the Jewish quarter will be there later on, but the largest church in the very center of the map is Holy Sepulchre. In the Byzantine church era, called not the Holy Sepulchre, it's a Latin Catholic name. In Greek, how is it called? The Anastasis. Literally
Anastasis, the ascension.
Okay.
It's not
And how do you call it in Arabic? Even today. Which means?
resurrection.
Right. Okay, so even the Arab name still retains the original meaning of the Byzantine name. Now, to be fair, this is the very center of the map. We'll see later on when we enter the church that originally, in the 4th century, I know it's hard to keep concentration, but please. You had, from the cardinal, from the upper western cardinal, you had stairs. You had stairs, 1, 2, 3 entrances. You have a basilica. You see the red roof.
Yes.
Okay, so you had a basilica that you go through. Today, most of it is under Muslim hands. And then you have a round hole surrounding a square item. The square small item is the tomb, the place of burial and resurrection of Jesus. The round hole, even today as you enter, there is a rotunda. Okay, so it retains the same shape, but today we only have half of it. Only the western half was kept after Saladin took Jerusalem from the
So that
Crusaders.
means the main entrance was on the eastern side, not on this side.
Very good. The main entrance was on the east, not like today from the south. Now, one more thing. This is, on the madaba mosaic, this is the center of the city. But if we check the real map of Jerusalem, no, it's not the center. But this map is also conceptual, theological. It shows you as a pilgrim, as a Christian, what is the most important place, what is the symbolic heart of the city. The Church of the Anastasis. The name Holy Sepulchre only came with the Crusaders.
Anastasis Kiev.
Sorry, you had a question?
You said part of the basilica is now in Muslim hands. You mean where the Mosque of Omar stands?
No, it's further out. That's where the under the Hanukkah, the area of the Hanukkah.
Where the Zoloty Moskvitska is.
God rest his. Okay, so we'll go back to the madaba map when we were in Cairo. Now, as you come in, each of these niches has these signs for the guides. It's very, very convenient for all of us. I'm going to move to another one. We were standing in the street under an arch. Okay, now only the arch didn't go the whole way. Okay, the last part of the arch is right here. Today it serves as a chapel of the monastery. But you see, just like in Damascus Gate, this was the main road, the Decumanos, and 2 smaller pedestrian ways.
Can we see?
So this was actually where the entrance was.
Today, these entrances, the side entrances, are one at the church, at the chapel of the monastery, and on the other side, It's under the Naqshbandi. It's inside a mosque of the Sufis. Of the
other side of the church.
So we found all of them?
Yeah. Okay? But you cannot see them. Now, this is taken from the city of Jerash in Jordan. But you see how these...
It's the entrance.
You can go and see it
That's the
yourself.
entrance of Jerash, yes. Yes.
Okay, and it's a freestanding arch. Again, not linked to a wall.
Never was.
Right, never was. But it marks the border of the city, the border of civilization.
The gate.
You probably had statues of emperors or gods or goddesses. This marks the entrance to a proper Roman city. So this is what we have here as well. What was behind us? As you come from the east, why do you pass through such an arch? Behind us used to be the forum, the city square, where the main commerce is. Where sometimes you can hold sentences, trials.
So the commerce from where? From which
Coming
side?
from outside the city. Okay, if you come from the east, this is the closest.
So this is the eastern entrance.
Right? And the Eastern Forum. We had a Western Forum right by today's Holy Sepulchre, by the Anastasis. Okay, so you don't have to go the whole way in if you come from the Jordan Valley or Jericho. You can be here in this forum if you have things to sell or temples, pagan temples to go to. And if you come from the area of Jaffa, again, you don't have to go all the way in. Okay, so this is what we see today. Now, where does the Eke Homo, the words, where do they come from? Pontius Pilate.
Don't say the story.
Sorry, okay. I'm glad you said it on time. So Mark will tell us. Okay. Now, this is a reconstruction. Sorry?
So it's Hadrian Hall.
Right. So we'll speak of it later.
The three arches.
Hadrian,
Oh.
not Herod's
We are not going
time
to tell
and
anyone.
not first century, because Hadrian is second century.
Yes.
What we have underneath, and this is where we're now headed, all the way down.
Pool.
Aqueducts.
Pool.
You see
The pool of the
huge
Western
reservoir.
Wall, the last pool.
Have you been in the Western
We went.
Wall tunnels? You go.
The last
Yes.
pool.
Exactly.
Last station.
Now the last pool there is 1/3 of the same reservoir, which is double. Remember, you had to go under the wall and then you had the water. But there's a double elongated reservoir with a set of arches just to support it. Today it's all underground. Originally, in the times of the Second Temple, it was open. Who covered it?
Hadrian, right. Because it used
Now,
to be
originally it was a pool.
a moat, right?
Right, part of the moat around the Temple Mount. Okay, it serves as an obstacle, and also the water that you need for the temple, because you have the aqueduct feeding it from the north. Now, in the times of Aelia Capitolina under Hadrian, all of this was covered and a street paved over it. And over the street we have the arch. So now we'll see underground. Okay, we're gonna go 2 floors down. Please watch your step.
So they cover